Let's go, let's go, let's go. You are officially in the Michigan Man Cave. Welcome to the Man Cave, your place for any and all things Michigan football. And yes, we know we've been gone for a minute, missed an entire year, but guess what? Ish happens, right? But we back better than ever. Y'all know I got my boys with me. You know it's Train, my boy Bowie, Keen. What's happening?
It's good.
We are in this thing.
Act like we never left, baby.
Yes, sir. We are back, man. Super excited. The main reason I'm happy we're back is because this is 1 year that we absolutely could not miss. I think everybody knows why. Expectations are through the roof, and these boys better come correct. Or else, we're going to have something to say about it, because one thing we do is keep it a buck at all times.
Yes, sir.
Man, personally, I'm just geeked, man. I feel like we've been neglecting the peoples, and we back. Everybody who missed us, apologies for the last year that we missed, but we here now. We're going to be rocking with y'all every single week this entire season. So, B, how you feeling, man? You back on the mic. Pause.
It has been a long time, but I'm feeling good, man. Like you said, expectations are super high, man. Looking forward to the season. And you know how it is. The whole year you waiting to get back to this point, man. College football, pro football. Just, man, super excited, ready to get this season going, man.
Let's get it, King. What you feeling, bro? We back.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time coming. You know, COVID kind of messed everybody up. But, man, I'm excited about this season. Like you said, high expectations, especially coming off of that. I'm not going to let them off the hook coming off that loss. 3 letters, TCU, coming off that loss. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still kind of pissed about that. So, I'm ready to get back into next year for sure.
Yes, sir. So, speaking of the expectations, let's just jump into it. Preseason number 2, I think in all polls that I've seen, the only team ahead of us is Georgia, which at the end of the day, you got to respect it. Back-to-back national champs.
That's what it gets.
Yeah, but two is obviously nothing to scoff at. I believe this is going to be Harbaugh's best team. When you're looking at the roster, which we'll jump into, we look extremely loaded. So I'm trying to figure out, where to poke holes at, because that's what we do. And we'll see, if what we believe is going to happen comes to fruition. But let me ask you this. Let's start with this. With us being preseason number 2, King, how do you feel about that? Because we've been podcasting. I mean, this, I guess, is our 4th season probably. We've never started the season this high. And I always kind of felt like when we were like either 10, 12, kind of in that range. I think last year even, I'm trying to remember where we started last year, preseason poll, but it was almost a sign of, hey, we getting disrespected. So the shoe's kind of on the other foot now where we got our respect.
Right.
Is that going to keep these boys hungry? What are you feeling about the mental psyche of being preseason number 2?
I feel like just listen to the, the Michigan culture and like things going on, the chats and, the reviews and all that. I feel like, and even listen to some podcasts and stuff. I feel like they have a different mentality right now. I don't think it's going to get to their head, because coming up, like I said, coming off that loss, you got something to prove. You got a chip on your shoulder. You should be hungry. You should be wanting that. If you do get that number 2, you got to represent that number 2. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we're going to be like with the offense and everything. I feel like they're going to represent that number 2. I don't feel like we're going to, be a team of like how we used to be, like one-sided maybe, or just not getting it done in the big games. You know what I'm saying? So I think it sounds like they got a different mentality. And we got leaders. We got hella upperclassmen, you know what I mean? So that helps too a lot.
Yeah. B, anything you want to
add? Piggybacking off of a lot of King's points, we do have a lot of upperclassmen. This year, it, like you said, in the pre-speech, it seems to be our more balanced team, offense and defensive. When like last year, we were kind of leading towards the defense to hold us down. You know what I'm saying? Offense don't make no mistake. But to me, we that TCU loss still sits with me. It's the big game that we haven't won yet. So
they got that chip still.
Yeah, being last year, you mentioned it. We were ranked number 8. We got a better team, so of course you move ahead. You know what I'm saying, in the preseason rankings. Um, so I mean, number 2 is cool, but I feel like we got a lot to prove. Given that what we lost in the draft, which we'll get into, to the team we got now and the transfers we brought in. TCU's ranked 17. We're ranked number 2. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, man, if we got that much talent, you know what I'm saying, how haven't we put it together in years past? So
Yeah.
just I mean, that to me is the thing that's just sticking in my craw. But again, this is a different team. I don't want to put last year's wins and losses, defeats, expectations on this year's team. You see behind me, this is the 144th Michigan team. So I'm just ready to see what they can do.
Yeah, man. And one thing I did, and you know, Blake Corum, he's careful with his words, but he also, you know, I feel like he knows what he's saying when he's saying it. It's not just like any like, you know, slip of the tongue type of thing. He's really calculated, and he's saying it's national championship or bust. You know, and I like him saying that because he's not just saying that, he's qualifying it by saying, "Hey, that's our ultimate goal," but at the end of the day, he keeps saying we got to put one foot in front of the other, right? Day by day, game by game. We can't get to where we're gonna get to until win the natty. Exactly. We can't get to where we get to unless we handle those things day to day. So it's not like they're just saying, like, almost like they're taking it for granted we're going to get there. We just got to win it. He understands what it takes to get there. So, and he's also a captain, obviously. So they named
He's gonna
captain.
be hungry coming out of that injury.
Yep. And I mean, when you think about it too, the guys we had multiple guys come back that were projected draft picks, you know, decently high round draft picks who came back too. So you look at it, we got NFL guys playing in college right now because they all could have got drafted. So, but I do want to hop into the schedule just to take a better outlook onto the season. So when you look at the schedule, it's pretty backloaded. You know, our non-conference is shaky at best, as King would say. So I do want to jump into it. Can y'all see that there?
Yeah.
All right, so we're looking at the schedule here. You know, I don't know how much we want to spend on each on each of these teams at the early schedule, but when you're looking at this schedule, boy, you know what are you seeing? You know, what's jumping out to you? You know, kind of what's your expectations when looking at the schedule? Not even as record wise, but just kind of like what the team should be doing. You know, throughout kind of the duration of the schedule. You know, early games. You know, are we getting the backups in? Are we working on things? You know, what does that look like to you?
Gotcha. Early on, you know what I'm saying, those 3 non-conference games, I feel like we're going to be establishing the run. You know what I'm saying? That's the time to fill out Blake Corum. You know what I'm saying? See how much his load is going to be for the rest of the year. You know what I'm saying? It's Edwards, you know what I'm saying, get him some good quality reps, you know what I'm saying, against those teams. Find that balance of how we going to use them for the rest of the year. We don't play a ranked team until the 10th game. That's Penn State. But you do got that Michigan State game in there, which is a trip up game. I feel like that's the game that we should start hitting our stride. You know what I'm saying? We've established what the offense is going to be. The defense is going to have some games where they establish themselves. And the starters are ready to go, getting into that last push of the season against those final teams. That Maryland's a good football team. And then, you know, the big game at the end of the year. So, and first, like through the first couple games, just establish the run. Oh yeah, we also got to establish who's going to be. I mean, we know who the number 1 is at the wide receiver position, but we need to find a solid number 2.
Do we know who's the number 1 for sure?
Yeah. I was gonna ask that. Do we?
Well, I mean, I don't want to jump ahead, but I know who my number 1 is. You know what I'm saying? He put on the number 1, and y'all usually know what that means historically for the Michigan wide receiver group. So I'm
Who are
looking
we
for
talking
him to
about?
be.
And
You know
like,
what I'm saying?
who is this? Who are number 1?
Roman, he changed his number.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's number 1
Wow.
now.
I didn't even know he switched his number. That's news to
Hey,
me.
Yep.
I like that. I like
You
that.
know what I'm saying?
I
So
like that.
that's why I'm saying we looking for him to be our number 1.
Yeah, he. Oh, yeah. You're right. If he did that,
Exactly.
I missed that news.
On the DB side, you know what I'm saying? You know, me being a former wide receiver, so you know what I'm saying, I stick more with the receivers and DB. We know who our number one DB is, you know what I'm saying? Will Johnson. We looking to see who's gonna be that number two. You know what I'm saying? Throughout them first, you know what I'm saying, nine games, we gonna establish those positions. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, those
it's
unknowns.
exactly as balanced as we are going into the season. As much talent as we have, we still got some positions where we need to sure up who's gonna be the other guy, you know what I'm saying, on the other side of the field. So I believe the first 10 games we establish all that going into them last three, because the last three games are gonna be where it's gonna be our playoff position. We should win all those games, and whether we beat, you know what I'm saying, the Suckeyes, the Penn States, that's gonna show where we land in the playoff.
Yeah, yeah. Keen, I mean, is something stand out to you on here? You know,
Oh yeah, oh
like
yeah,
Bowie
definitely,
said,
definitely.
nothing really jumping out at you. Maybe tell the first rivalry game we got on there.
So I think so. Our first four games are at home. I think that Nebraska game is going to be tricky going out there, and I like what Matt Rule is doing because he's recruiting down in Florida. We
Facts.
got some
Good point.
kids from Palmetto, kid, the school I was at. Willis McGahee's son committed there. He's a DN, like the number. He's a 4-star, like top 10 DN in the nation. His kid, Ja'Cory Barney. He's a D. He's a receiver, DB, and quarterback, bro. Play everything. Number 4-star. He just committed there, so he's getting some
Yeah.
speed out there. I like what he's doing. They're like you know what I'm saying?
And it's
Like
a hard place to it's a rowdy place to play at. Even when they
yeah,
sorry, the fans
yeah.
go crazy.
Yep, but yeah,
Facts.
they always historically been good. So you know what I'm saying, they trying to get back there. I dubbed them like the Maryland of the West out there. You know what I'm saying? They're coming up, and like Bowie was talking about, that Maryland game in between Penn State and Ohio State is like at Maryland too. Like they got Tua Agavola. How you say it? Tua Agavola. Yeah, him.
Tunga
They got
Vailoa.
he's a veteran. He's a veteran quarterback. You know what I'm saying? They got a good football team. And Lockley don't like well, you know, the dude left, but you know, they had that beef with the Michigan quarterback. I forgot his name. Forget
Gaddis.
he didn't know how to run an offense. No, it's fucking. I mean, my bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he went down to Miami and turned
Yeah,
that to
and then
shit.
they fired his ass too. You know, I told, hey, all the
Oh, he
Miami people
got
like,
fired.
oh, we got Gaddis, we got Gaddis. I'm like, all right, give it a year. You're gonna be mad as hell too, just like I would. But yeah,
They asked Gaddis.
yeah,
Already?
yeah. You said what?
Yeah, they fired Gaddis already. He was only there for like a year,
Oh,
two
shit, I
years.
don't know if they fired and they should have because their offense was trash last year. I don't shit.
Yeah,
No,
it
but
I'm
was.
hyping you up.
yeah.
Like, yeah, they
It's like
did. Yeah.
we got your offensive coordinator. Like, did you see our offense? Like, it wasn't shit. But yeah, that Nebraska, that Maryland game stand out to me. And I'm glad we don't play Illinois or Iowa because those would be trap games too. They got some good football programs coming up too. So
Yeah,
that
yeah,
Nebraska Maryland game really stick out to me. I mean, the Penn State Ohio State, you know, it's going to be a game. You know what I mean?
right.
Michigan State, that's our rival, in-state rival. You know that's going to be a game. So, but those
Yeah,
Nebraska Maryland, mark my words, it's going to be one of those tricky games too, man. I'm telling you.
yeah. I don't know if you remember the last time we went out there with Haskins and them. Shoot, remember Haskins made that play of the year for him where he hurdled that dude and kept running and all that.
Yeah,
But that was a tight game, and they was
I
sorry that
agree.
year. They played us damn near down to the wire. Remember, they was driving the field the last minute, and Martinez, he got stripped when he was running, he fumbled or whatever. But they was driving to score and win. So you're right. That game is. I'm with you on that. That's a
Man, it's tough.
yeah. That's
And
a
it's
tricky
in
game.
between, like where you got to get high and then you drop down to get high again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Emotional
yeah.
roller
So
coaster.
I'm in agreement with you there. That Nebraska is definitely sticks out to me. At Nebraska is always
Rutgers too.
tough. Who?
Rutgers. They always.
I'm not worried too
I
much
ain't
about
worried
it.
about that.
Yeah.
All right.
After that 78
Hey,
to 0, when Peppers and them put it on them out, I never give them respect again.
Y'all
Uh,
better get some hoopers.
but yeah, I'm when I'm looking at it, I mean it's just backloaded, man. So kind of like to what you were saying, Bowie, it's like we just need to have everything fine tuned, man. Those first games, and the only thing I guess I would disagree with you on, Bowie, somewhat is I feel like our run game is almost fine-tuned. It's been like that for some years now. I mean, we're going to our possibly third year with the best O-line in the country. So I feel like we need to spend more time passing, man. We need to work on that. Last year we did that when we had to, but it wasn't something that we wanted to do. So, Harbaugh made the statement, "Oh, we're gonna go 50-50 this year," which I'm not sure if I'm drinking that Kool-Aid yet, because you know what he gonna get to when shit get it all tight.
26 power.
Yes, sir. He's about to be handing that
Clinched
sucker
up.
off. Hand it off left, right, up the middle, traps, all that stuff he like doing.
So let me piggyback off that train. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You feel like JJ can break the touchdown record? It's at 25. He had 22 last year. In a single season touchdown record.
That's it. It's 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. He could definitely he should break that this year for sure. Yeah, I believe he should. If he had 22 last year with damn near playing conservative most of the year, they didn't unleash JJ at all. I mean, at the Ohio State game, they just had everybody stacked. He threw a couple deep balls. He made a couple big passes. I get it. Honestly, outside of those 2 picks versus TCU, which were obviously game-changing, devastating plays for us, but if you take those out, he sliced their ass up. Like, JJ went crazy that game outside of those 2 picks. It wasn't like he was throwing incompletions all game. He was lighting them up. He just had
our
2
defense
picks.
couldn't hold water.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So I mean, at the end of the day, we did drop however many points on them, and we hadn't given up that much all year. So, not taking blame away from them, because obviously you can't do that in a game of that magnitude. But I just want to work on that stuff, man. I do feel like he's got the ability. He got the arm, he's got the wheels. Like, let's unleash him.
Yeah.
And unleash him. I don't know what the word I'm saying. Methodically, like, let's unleash him while also keeping things in perspective. Like, if it's 3rd and 8 versus Bowling Green in week 3 with second quarter, we up 14-0, and he's got to put his head down, pause to go get a first down. And we don't need that, bro. Just go, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, just
throw that out of bounds.
Go ahead and throw an orgy package in there. Let orgy do that. Or Tuttle, or was it Tuttle? Let one of them do that.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, don't risk the unnecessary. Don't make any unnecessary risk, because after him, dog, it could be sketchy. So it's like,
it's a toss up.
Yeah, let's just work all that out, man. All the deep passes, the timings, all of that stuff. So, I mean, I just think it's heavily backloaded. We need to have all that stuff fine tuned by the time we get there. I mean, I don't think, obviously Michigan State's a rivalry game, and they always find a way to pull some Houdini shit out. But I don't think they're going to be that good this year. It's at Michigan State. It's a night game, they announced, so that could be tricky. Even though whatever their record is, they gonna bring it all. So
right.
I'm not disregarding that game. So I would say Nebraska, at Michigan State, and then obviously Penn State, Ohio State is probably like the 2 biggest games on the schedule. At Penn State is, y'all know what that is. So that was the last time we saw Eric can't catch it all, make a big play. He was chugging down the sideline on that crossing route from Cade. So hopefully we can go.
That's gonna be a whiteout game for them. You already know it's coming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, we'll make our final record predictions at the end of the show. But we just wanted to take a peek at that schedule. Y'all see it heavily backloaded. There's no reason at minimum we shouldn't be heading into Michigan State all the way undefeated, locked and loaded, fine-tuned, ready to put it on them. So even though Nebraska is a tricky first-year head coach, new system, new everything, it's like we need to take care of that game. So, all right. So let me see what I had next. Moving on, I do want to talk about our transfers, because I feel like they're going to make a big impact this year from what I'm reading. A few of them are jumping straight into starting roles, it appears. So the ones who I think are going to start: linebacker Ernest Hausman from Nebraska. He had a great freshman year. They saying he's a stud out there for real.
Nebraska, see?
Yeah. Yep.
You said it. You said it,
Yeah.
King.
Nebraska transfer, and then the DB Wallace from
Josh Wallace.
UMass.
Yep.
He's like a fifth-year guy, I think.
Yep,
And
grad
then
transfer.
we got the two linemen. Or sorry, let's stay with defense. We got the D end out of Coastal Carolina, who they say supposed to add a speed rush element to the edge.
Yep.
And then we got two offensive linemen, and we're going to get into the position breakdowns. But just from those guys, I think those are the main ones. I don't think I missed any. Uh,
Hey,
any.
here go an important one. Place
Tucker.
kicker.
Yep.
Oh
I
yeah,
was just about to say Turner.
there you go.
Turner.
Yep,
James Turner.
We here. You know what I
yep,
mean?
yep. The kicker from the Louisville, right? So, anyways, out of those guys, you can pick one, two. Keen, I don't know if one's standing out to you, but who who do you think is going to make the biggest impact? Where at what position?
I think it's gonna be the kicker. That's why I brought it up because I mean we don't our kicker, you know what I'm saying, got drafted. He went to Ravens, I think, one of them teams. He went to the NFL.
Moody, he went to 49ers.
49ers. Yep.
Yeah. So our kicking game is a big question mark, and that's like one of the biggest holes in our team, you know what I'm saying? Special teams right there, you know what I mean? Because you look at our offense, you could make an argument one position here and there, maybe, but our defense, you know what I'm saying? Same thing, but we got depth, and then we don't have a kicker. Nobody's proven to be a collegiate kicker yet, you know what I'm saying? So I
They
feel
did
like
put him on the from what I saw, they put him on the preseason. Is it the Groza?
I think he's going to be our place. I think he's starting. That's what I'm saying. So we'll see him in the first couple games, more than likely. You know what I mean? See how that goes. Also, I think Josiah Stewart because our defensive line lacks a standalone. You know what I'm saying? Guy right now. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have a Aiden Hutchinson. He's gone. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a monster on the defensive line that's going. Garner maybe a double team right off the back. You know what I'm saying? Free up another guy to
Gonna
come
have
in.
to see who's gonna emerge.
Yeah. So I mean, I think Josiah Stewart's gonna make a big impact. I think, like you said, Ernest Hausman too, as a freshman. Like that podcast I heard that you sent the other day, you know what I'm saying? Like they was talking about him and how he had that big freshman year and how he's in the mix, you know what I'm saying, with Barrett and Colson. So those
Yeah,
three I think will have the
yeah,
place kicker the most, but those two also.
yeah. Who you got making an impact first year on the squad, B?
Impact or my expectations. I'm looking at again Josh Wallace. Looking at the DBs. You got to be able to lock up receivers. I mean, skipping ahead to if we do end up facing those teams from down south, what are their strong points? Georgia's got the tight ends and the receivers. And Alabama, their speed at receiver is what kills. So we need people that lock up on the outside. So um, they say he's got over 2,000 reps. You know what I'm saying? He's fifth year. He's experienced. And like I said earlier, we don't have that second corner spot locked up. So in those early games, we looking to see, you know what I'm saying, who can fill that spot out there on the edge. So that's going to be really important. Again, to your point, Train, and King's point, that Ernest Heisman from Nebraska, the linebacker, you always need run stoppers. Um, you need people to shore up that middle. You know what I'm saying? Keep
Yeah,
people from getting that yard. You know what I mean?
yep,
So in years past, we've had those linebackers and those edge rushers like King allude to. So he's going to be a big factor and just bringing in experience at that position. We
yeah,
can teach those. You can have that locker room with those younger guys learning from guys that got the reps.
yeah,
But at the same time, having that youth out there, because we got talent. I mean, we're deep, so you can mix it up with you know what I'm saying experience and talent. So,
yeah,
I'm looking for those guys to make a big impact, as well as the kicker coming in starting. Moody was a big part of our offense, and he was automatic. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So I mean, having an automatic kicker, you know what I'm saying, is a huge weapon. So again, the kicker, offensive line always. I mean, we're pretty stacked at that. So I don't see those guys coming. I mean, it's a position battle right now from what I'm reading, so that's good. But having a deep offensive line will never hurt your football team. So
hell no. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
with you.
and one of them's coming from Stanford. I
Two of
love
them
smart
came.
offensive linemen.
Two of
I
them.
can't
Two of them
stress
came.
how much I love smart offensive linemen. Those boys,
Yeah.
as big as they are, being able to be out there and think. Um, Train, your brother play offensive lineman. He was talking to us a little bit about it. You know what I'm saying? Just knowing how to position yourself and get that angle to make that block. You know what I'm saying? That's important instead of just trying to bull rush people off the line. So again, I love thinking offensive lineman. So offensive line, linebacker, and cornerback. I'm hoping our transfers make the biggest impact. And kicker, my bad.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with y'all. I'm going to triple down on Hausman. I mean, I think he halfway probably came to us, and we went after him because he balled versus Michigan last year. Like we smoked him, but he had like I forget how many tackles. He had a sack on
His tape
JJ.
jumped out.
Yeah, so when he went in the transfer portal, they was probably like, "Oh, damn, he killed us. Let's see what's up with him." I don't know if we recruited him out of high school. I'm not sure about that. We may have, and maybe that was a connection too. But then probably once he went off, it was really like, "Oh yeah, let's go ahead and get him." So I'm excited about him. And the other one I'm probably most excited about, honestly, is the center, Drake Nugent. He's the one offensive line transfer that we got. We got three, I believe it was, that came in, two from Stanford, him and
Arizona
him,
State, Darius
yep, and Ladarius Jefferson, I think from
Henderson.
Arizona State. But they're acting like those other two guys are battling it out. But Nugent, from what I've been reading, what I've been hearing,
Clear
they're
cut.
saying because you remember we had Ola with Timmy last year, and he was like, didn't he win the best center in the country, I believe? And so everybody was expecting like a drop off there at center, and everything I'm reading is saying this dude Drake Nugent he ain't far off from that. So we'll see how that turns out. But like you said, B, you can never have too much depth on the offensive line. So I'm excited about what these transfers is going to bring for sure. So let's get to the rest of the squad, though. Let's talk about not just the transfers, everybody. I want y'all to give me. Let's start with offense. Let's start with offense. Bowie, I'm gonna let you start. Who's some breakout players that you expect to see this year? It doesn't necessarily even have to be somebody who's first year starting. Like if you think that Cornelius Johnson is about to just go off this year, whoever it is, it could be returning starter, a new guy, whoever. So who you think is going to be like a name that's becoming a little more household name in these streets than they were last year?
Man, I gotta go with JJ, man. I mean, he's a
JJ.
household name. He's been progressing every year. We love his talent. We love the potential of what he could be. He's been a good quarterback. But this year, I'm hoping to see the ascension into great. Train, you were mentioning that we didn't unleash him. I'm hoping
No,
that I'm hoping that we, given that TCU game and how good of a game he did have, outside those two interceptions, which were really uncharacteristic, of him and what he had did that the last year. I want to see him, you know what I'm saying, be that impact guy because right now he's a good quarterback. We expect him to be good, but I kind of want him to ascend into that
be
great.
great.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's how you win. That's how you win in college. You know what I'm saying? You have a great quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That helps you win in college. So, um, I want to see him again, run more and make those plays with his legs, but being smart about it. I remember last year he scared us a whole lot just trying to get that extra yard. It's like, bro, you don't have to do that. We
hey
have
man,
players.
calculated. Be calculated.
Yes,
Only
be
yeah.
calculated. We have
Win,
players
win or
that can
loss,
do that.
win or lose situations.
Exactly. So again, my guy is JJ McCarthy, and I got another guy. If y'all want to hear it, and I mentioned it already, but it's Roman. Roman Wilson at that receiver. He went from
Time to be
14.
elite. Time to be
He went from
elite.
14 to number one. That means something. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know we're talking to a bunch of Michigan fans, and I know y'all diehard Michigan fans, but we got away from that number one at receiver meaning something. So I hope he brings that fear back to that number at that number one Michigan wide receiver wearing that number one. Because again, to diehard Michigan fans, that means something. wearing that
Yeah.
number at receiver.
Yep. All right. I like it. I like it. King, who about to ball out this year?
Well, I could go with the obvious. Well, it's actually two of them, which is I think Blake Corman and Donovan Edwards are going to go off with that offensive line. And like you said, boy, with the pass game, probably more than likely going to be working. It's just going to be a setup for just like a
An
Thanksgiving.
explosion, an offensive explosion.
Reggie Bush and Lindale White.
We got weapons, bro. Thunder and lightning, whatever you want. Receiving game, like okay, but let me get back to the topic. My bad, I got away. My bad. So I think breakout become a household name is probably Colston Loveland, the tight end.
Yeah,
because
I like
Michigan is
him.
known for having tight ends. You know what I'm saying? We got our receiver spots locked up. You could say Cornelius Johnson. You could say Roman Wilson. You could say running back spot is locked up. You know what I'm saying? Blake and Donovan. That tight end spot is like, okay, who's going to emerge? And he had some flashes last year. Like, he's going to be pretty fucking good, man.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Colston Loveland, man, as my breakout, become a household name in the Michigan lore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with I love that pick. Like if you didn't pick that, I probably would have picked him. But since you did, I'm gonna go with Tyler Morris, man. They're saying he's gonna be the third receiver. He played minimally last year. I can't remember what game it was, a game or two. He had a couple like decently big catches, not like big as in like long yardage, but like some key catches. I think it was maybe the Illinois game. He had a big third down catch, and it was kind of like, oh, who is this kid? And from all accounts, they did say he was a little banged up during. I guess he got a little banged up during camp. Harbaugh never tells anything. He just say, yeah, they're working through something, which only he knows what the hell that means. But Tyler Morris, he's supposed to be in that slot. I heard, I think it was
the Nebraska game, Nebraska game.
Yeah, Nebraska. Okay. Yeah. So he's a sophomore, and I believe it was, I can't remember what podcast I was listening to, but they had I can't remember. One of the coaches was on there. I can't remember which coach said it exactly, but they said he went through the middle, like jumped up, skied up, and plucked the ball out the air. And then they said they both looked at each other and both said to each other at the same time, Ronnie Bell, like, oh, he the next Ronnie type vibes. And I was like,
okay.
Ooh, I like to hear that. And after that, I went and did a little more research on him. His high school highlights, nice. Like he's looking like a nice slot receiver. And the fact that last year everybody was kind of talking about the Darius Clemens kid.
Yep.
And it seems like he's kind of done surpassed him as far as that third receiver. We'll see, if he starts the first game. Like I said, I heard he was injured recently, so I don't know if they're gonna rush him back.
That room, Train. All I've been reading is that room is pretty deep. That receiver room.
Hey.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, he went to school with JJ McCarthy.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. Thanks for bringing that up. Yep. Him and JJ, they said got a connection from high school, so they know each other. They got chemistry, and I think that could be, because I think everybody's gonna be keying on Roman, keying on Cornelius. He was just like, Cornelius is just steady, right? I like him, but he's just like that possession receiver, veteran. Like he gonna probably do everything.
He's like Hemingway back in the day.
You need 10, he'll get you 10.
Right, exactly. So that's mine for offense. I'm gonna go with Tyler Morris. All right, let's switch to defense though. Defense, I'll go first. I'm gonna go with defensive end Derek Moore, who last year, he played a decent amount as a freshman, but he was highly recruited. He actually had a pretty good freshman year, even though he didn't get a ton of sacks. I think he had 2 or 3 sacks last year, but super powerful dude, explosive. And I did read some articles about the different guys on the team who have gained weight, lost weight. And he was one that they said lost, I think, about 15 pounds to get even quicker off the edge. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do. I'm going to roll with Derek Moore. My second one, which I don't know, and we'll jump into in the position stuff, it will be Chris Jenkins. They're already projecting him as a first-round pick. But I'm expecting him to get more active in the sack game. He was just a stout run stuffer, but I'm hoping he can get more active in the pass game as far as getting sacks. So that's my pick for defense, though. Derek Moore is going to lead this team in sacks this year. Bold prediction.
Mark those words.
Mark those words. King, who you got on defense?
So both of mine are in the defensive backfield. I'm gonna say Mike Sanders still. I believe he'll like that nickel spot, you know what I mean? Like I feel like that's an important position to be played. And he had some great plays last year. He showed that he was a solid playmaker coming from offense to defense. And also it's another offensive player that went to defense, the receiver, Amarion Walker. They say he's supposed to be the second defensive or the second cornerback. Now, I don't know.
Now, hold on. Right. To get to that, now they said that all through the spring, and I don't know if you remember what happened in the spring game. Peyton O'Leary, the little walk on, the white receiver we got, they said stir-fry shrimp cooked his ass repeatedly.
Barbecue chicken?
Barbecue chicken to the point where it was like, okay, everybody hit the brakes on this kid because he's like a raw athlete, though, you know? So it was like.
You don't got no technique?
Yeah, they said he got all the skill sets, but O'Leary was
spinning. So, all right, keep an eye out for him then.
Blender. But you can stick with your pick. I'm not swaying you from that because they saying by the end of the year, they're hoping that he'll kind of like Will Johnson did last year, how the beginning was kind of, I don't mean to steal your time, but.
No, you good. No, that was it. The two like, switcheroos.
If I could add a second before you go, boy, I do want to add a second who I think is going to break out. My first pick, though, is going to be Derek Moore. My second one, actually, the same last name, Rob Moore, the safety, 19. He had a sneakily good-ass season last year.
He did. I like him, too.
I feel like he's about to really, really do something this year. So he'd be my second, but my first is going to be Derek Moore. But go ahead, B. Who you got?
Shazier.
Oh, I'm going to stay on the outside. And you mentioned him, Train. Oh, Will Johnson. Boy, got that number 2 on. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm speaking of Michigan lore, so I'm sticking with these numbers meaning something. But he was a freshman last year, like you mentioned, Train. It just takes time, you know what I'm saying? Coming in, getting on the field, you gotta actually play. The game is different. Coming out of high school, you know what I'm saying? After getting those reps, you know what I'm saying?
And he's got to be that guy. He's supposed to be that guy this year.
Guy being deemed the number 1. You're there. I want to see him lock up one half of the field. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Shut down that one half field. We ain't got to worry about that, and then it'll make the whole defense better. I believe he has the attributes: 6'2", 202 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like he's that big corner. So he probably be able to bully those little smaller receivers on the outside. But Will Johnson, man, he had a decent freshman year. You know what I mean?
So you saying if he's gonna do better, you thinking All-American status?
Right. You know
I like it.
He got the 2 interceptions his best game versus Purdue. I imagine he'd get a couple more of those games. With the looking at the schedule, we got 2 interception games. So I'm looking at him to increase that number. So I'm going with Will Johnson.
Let's actually real quick. Let's hop into if we can. Y'all can see here. We got the depth chart. Predicting the depth chart. This was an article I found, which I actually thought was pretty close to what I thought how it was going to shake out. So if y'all see here, edge rushers. They got Brady McGregor on here starting. Jalen Harrell, however you say it. 2 veterans. You see my primary backups, my boy Derek Moore, who I'm predicting, and Josiah Stewart. Keen, you mentioned him earlier.
Yep.
As far as that transfer from Coastal Carolina. They're saying he's undersized.
Yeah.
But speed demon off the edge, like kind of like I ain't gonna compare him to Ojabo because I can't hype him up that much without playing a snap. But remember how Ojabo was that speed rusher?
Yeah.
It's like them kind of vibes. So I think these 4 edge rushers here. I think obviously only 2 could start, but they're going to be just all playing,
rotating in. Yeah,
that's how I see it shaking out. So we'll see. I'm sure whoever probably gets hot, whoever starts balling might start getting the lion's share of the reps, or just even, probably the higher percentage. But we'll see. I know that Jalen Harold, I mean, he's a stout run stopper. They said one of the best graded out. So I feel like our run D is going to be definitely solid. But we just need to, when we're at our best, man. I mean, it's no secret that edge rushers in the NFL make the most bread. That's a very, very
big facts.
important position. So
got to get to the quarterback.
So let's keep going down. Let's go to D line. We haven't even mentioned Mason Graham. He could have been another breakout potential, but man, I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do. He started as a freshman last year.
Nose tackle. He is nose tackle. He don't get the shine, but they make the big impact stuff in that middle. You know what I mean?
Yep, I like it. Chris Jenkins, Kenneth Grant. He's like that behemoth out there. I don't know if y'all remember last year. He got some sparingly, but he's like that, like 6'4", 330, and the reports I'm reading saying he's nimble.
I've been reading they got high hopes for Rayshawn Benny.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be a breakout guy.
He been around too. So this what I'm saying. B, you were talking about it. We got depth.
We loaded.
Right. We're loaded. So and then Cam Good, I've even heard his name as definitely going to be in the rotation. So we'll keep going down here. Linebackers, Junior Colson, Mike Barrett. Man, I can't believe Barrett's back. Huh?
There go your boy Hossman.
Yeah, Hossman.
Junior Colson.
Yeah. But Barrett, how long has Barrett been there, man? 6? This is 6th, I think.
He wanted them Rudy longevity players. It seemed like he been there forever.
He got voted a captain too. I like it, man.
Yeah.
We got veteran leadership as captains, which is gonna pull all them young bulls, get on their shit if they tripping.
There's not gonna be a lot our players haven't seen before, given the amount of reps they've had. You know what I mean? Not gonna get fooled on a lot.
Yeah. And if you read this right here, obviously I think this is a SI.com, what I'm looking at. But you see here, if you see where it says underneath, Hausman has the ability to become the best linebacker on the team. That's a statement with Junior Colson in there, because we know he's like our dog. He's our best linebacker. He's been the best linebacker. So to make a statement like that, dog, that's saying something.
That boy has some major attributes. Then you know what I mean,
bruh. I believe he had can you look that up, Keen, as we going through this? How many tackles? And you might have looked at it. How many tackles did Hausman have as a true freshman last year?
Just say right there.
For Nebraska. Oh, did he?
Well, that's in the 7 games he started. Hold on, let me see.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Yep. 54 tackles. Yep.
Olsen had 101 last year.
Started 7 games as a true freshman, had 54 tackles. And I saw something that, they had him, and I don't look too far in all those analytics, but they said his tackle rate, which is, how many tackles you should have had compared to what you did have and all that, was ranked 3rd in the Big Ten last year, something crazy like that. So he's a sure tackler too.
Right.
So we'll see with that. Let's keep it rolling here. Corners. We already talked about that. Will, Josh, Sanders still. Bowie's breakout player. Or no, Keen. I think you said Sanders still, right? Yep. So we're loaded, man. And then there's a Walker behind him, McBurrows. I don't know if y'all remember McBurrows. He was the one rocking the one and disrespected it when he got pieced up in the tunnel. When they stomped them out.
Yeah, you can't wear that number anymore.
After that ass whooping, y'all not allowing him to wear that numero uno?
Oh, I'm gonna have to throw you the 29, dog.
Right. All right. So then safeties, Rob Moore and Makari Page. What y'all think about Page? Because he was, he's like that tall safety. He's like 6'3", I think, something like that. Him and RJ Moten was kind of rotating last year. Y'all know Moten transferred, so I'm thinking Page just took him over all the way. I think Moten's, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Moten transferred to Florida, and they just named him a starter. So
yeah, he in Florida. I don't know if he's a starter, but I know he transferred to Florida.
Yeah, I read something that he was starting. So I'm thinking like, yo, you got cats transferring to SEC schools, getting starting jobs, and they couldn't make, you know what I'm saying? They couldn't start here. It's saying something, you know?
Yeah, right. It makes you wonder about the talent that we have and why they transferred. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So all right, and then real quick, let's hop to the offense. I think we already know JJ. We don't have to spend too much time on that. Running backs, we kind of know
A1
that.
AB, 1A. Yeah.
What do y'all think about this third running back spot here? They got Ben Hall here. I did hear Harbaugh on a podcast, I think it was John Jansen's a couple of days ago, say that right now Mullings is the third back, which I do not like him, man. I'm sorry. Maybe it's the fumble he had on the goal line versus TCU, but he's just like a
just because of that.
back. I don't know. I like this Ben Hall kid, that freshman. He got off in the spring game, but Mullins has me tainted by that fumble versus TCU.
Oh, that would take anybody's crawl, dog.
Or CJ Stokes. He played a lot last year. Or not a lot, but enough. He had a big fumble last year and kind of got benched for the rest of the year. But I'm trying to see who this third, just looking at the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, given what you just said, Train, keep Benjamin Hall in that spot. You know what I'm saying? Like
they said his thighs, they said, are already bigger than Blake Corum's.
Dang. I mean,
yes.
Blake Corum is a tank, a little
like a lamb.
Tank.
He's 5'11 and 230, about 235.
Hall?
Yeah.
5'11, 235?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. He had a hell of a spring game. He played great. He's
from Atworth, Georgia. He's from Atworth.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. He out here. Yeah. He's from the crib. He's from North Cobb. Yeah.
What'd you say, King? What was his you said 5'11, 230?
235.
235. You don't want to tackle that for a whole game. Or try to tackle that. I don't care what linebacker you is. You're not trying to have
do like that in high
school.
When I quit football, I was like, "But this, man, I'm done."
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know if how much y'all heard about Cole Cabana. You know, he's the kid from I think Dexter, Michigan. He ran like a 10-300. He's like a burner, but I think he's just a little too light in the ass right now to get out there in Big Ten ball. So
you gotta beef him up, get him on a meal.
Split him out at wide receiver. Go 5 wide.
Yep. So we'll see. And then wide receivers, Cornelius, Roman, Tyler Morris, as we said, the third receiver, Darius Clemens, O'Leary, and then we got some freshman receivers who they say are doing really well. But we'll see how
I was reading up on that English kid.
Yeah, we'll see how they progress. You know, hopefully that I'm thinking, like you were saying, be them first couple games. We should just need to be, working all them cats and getting them some reps. So we'll see how that goes. Is that a tight end? Loveland, we talked about him. Barner, the backup transfer. That's one transfer we forgot to mention. From Indiana.
Yep.
Yep, he's a experienced guy. I think he's a fourth-year guy. One thing I did like about our transfers, I think like 4 of our transfers who came in were captains on their previous team. So
quality.
If I'm getting a transfer, that's the kind of transfer I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want the athlete, you know what I'm saying, fifth man on the depth chart. I want a transfer that is smart, that's played, that got reps, that could come in and make an instant impact.
Yep. And they're like obviously like team guys if they was captains. You ain't getting voted a captain if you a selfish dude.
Right.
So, and we'll see Hibner, Bredesen, Klein. I don't know too much about them guys. We'll see. But these are the starters here, offensive line, predicted. Again, we don't have to talk too much about this. We're going to see how it shakes out, but we're beyond deep there at the offensive line. Look at all these guys. They said we legit got 8 guys that could get drafted this year. Harbaugh went out in the statement. I don't know if y'all read the statement Harbaugh said where we could he thinks we're going to break the record of people drafted with 20. Which is insane. So
natty or bust.
Man. That's what I was looking at, Train. That's why I put up the 10. Harbaugh said we got 10 to 12 starting linemen for 5 spots. Bruh, that's a lot of talent. That's deep.
Bruh, that's a lot of talent, man. So Yeah, that's the position breakdown as of now. We'll see how much it changes. Some of that isn't even probably set in stone itself. We'll see when the season starts. But speaking of Harbaugh, I do want to talk about his suspension. I don't know if y'all peeped. They did name who's going to be coaching for us the first few games.
It's a mix of people, ain't it?
So overall in the suspension, I mean, real quick, I'll just give my take. But you know, it seems like the infractions actually were minor infractions. You know, I attribute it to the liking of, you know, you're on the witness stand under oath. It doesn't matter if you said you didn't steal a pack of gum or you didn't steal a pack of gum. The fact is you lied on the stand. If you actually lied is the crime, not necessarily the crime, right? So that's what they're trying to stick them with. And from what I understand, my guy didn't even lie. He was just like, "Hey, I don't recall," which is a non-answer.
I see people on Capitol Hill say that all the time and get no charges.
Right. So that's what they're trying to stick him with, man. And I feel like if he would have just copped off rip, we wouldn't be dealing with any of this. But now they're trying to stick him for, I guess they say, being elusive or evading. I don't know, man. It feels like it's a measuring match of, you know, what's right now between the NCAA and Harbaugh. Neither of them really want to like back down. So it's kind of like super petty. But I don't know about the whole suspension situation. It's stupid. He self-imposed them 3 games now ourselves, which is weird though, because they're saying most of the times when teams self-impose, it's kind of in conjunction with the NCAA. Like they're like, all right, bet y'all kind of handled it yourself. We'll step back. They were like, that conversation never happened. We just did it. So it's like, is the NCAA still pissed? Going to try to come back and stick us later? I don't know, Keen. It's all stupid to me.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, I had to go in front of the Florida Athletic Commission for basketball, man. Like, and it's basically like you said,
illegal recruiting for your hoop squad. What's happening?
Yeah, no, man. Like, I can't go after like other high school players, but the kid was in 8th grade, but he went to it was a K through 12, so he's considered a high school player. So,
oh,
you know what I'm saying?
So they got you with the gray area.
They trying to throw the book at your boy, you know what I'm saying? But I held it down, took my 12 people to trial, you know what I'm saying? No, but I didn't beat it, you know what I'm saying? I didn't get no wrongdoing, you know what I'm saying, on my name. They try to stain my name, you know what I mean? But I held it down. I ain't telling nobody, you know what I'm saying? Always been true, you know what I mean? No, but I went down there with my principal, my AD, and my coach. We was all on the stand, like, so what happened? I'm like, man, look. But no, back to the subject. I mean, I think the NCAA, man, they losing their grip, man, because them the name, likeness, and image is taking over.
Yeah. Wild West.
They didn't want them making money, man. So it's like, all right, let me get this dude for some shit in COVID that happened during COVID. Like, come on, bro. Like
a cheeseburger and some Zoom practices.
You know what I mean? Like, bro, I mean,
cheeseburger, crab legs.
They can't eat. I can't eat. You know what I mean? Like, but I just feel like I'm gonna flex my muscle because I'm still here. I'm still the NCAA. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's that, but
they're a joke, bro. NCAA is a joke.
I don't give no stock in what they say. So it is what it is. Let's just move forward. This just gives opportunity for some of our assistant coaches to show what they can do. You know what I mean? Versus some not as high talent, but they're in the NCAA Division I, so hey, they came to play.
Yeah. B, you can be quick, man. What you think about that? I don't even want to spend that much time on this mess.
This might not be quick. No hate, no shade to the Bulldogs, but again, Train, the NCAA is a joke. There's just bigger, more important issues, and to me, this is about Harbaugh sticking his nose up to the NCAA. You know what I'm saying? In many instances, because down here in Georgia, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know I'm a Michigan fan, but I live in Georgia, so I'll try to make this quick. But January 15th, after the Bulldogs' second national championship, they lost a player and a staff member to street racing, to speeding. Dog. Since then, they got at least 14 kids that have been cited with reckless driving, speeding, evading police, like just running wild on the street. You know what I'm saying? So, how many sanctions or how many times have they
snitching over there?
NCAA went down there and said, this ain't even this year. This has been going on since 2020, bro. So I mean, NCAA, come on, this is a joke, man.
What you
Y'all
telling
should
us
be ashamed
is
of yourself, man.
what you
You got
telling us
kids
is
down here.
you the feds.
Hey, I'm a snitch. Hey, Charleston.
Hey,
Hit
no,
me up,
no, no.
man.
Charleston
Hey,
White.
hey, boo, you ain't a snitch. You an upstanding citizen. You know what I'm saying? Pay
I'm just
taxes.
calling
You
it
know
like
what
it
I'm saying?
is, man. But
You
it's
ain't
just
out in the
more
street.
important issues they could be tackling. Like you said, Trent, a cheeseburger? Oh, come. This is more about Harbaugh's reputation and him thumbing his nose up at the NCAA to me more than anything. So again, the NCAA is a joke. Like y'all said, I agree with everything y'all said. They losing their grip. The NIL taking over. There's gonna be something else, but they just trying to flex their muscle. But again, it's a joke.
Yeah, man. But now you are right, because Kirby and them be wilding. And I feel like the whole
Ain't said nothing to him.
I feel like the whole Athens Police Department be like, oh, who did what?
There hasn't been an investigation, a sniff of an investigation, and you got people like losing their lives. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to their families, but I mean, that's a way more important issue to me, I would think. And then since that happened, at
all type of
least
stuff.
14 other players have been, you know what I'm saying, ticketed or cited for speed and reckless driving, stuff like that, man. Go down there. Worried about us getting cheeseburgers.
Yeah, and Tennessee, they said Tennessee, just because they actually copped to their stuff, but like Tennessee, they said they had like 158 violations they found. They took away like some scholarships in like future years, like 2025, you lose 5 scholarships. It was like, bro, it was stupid, dog.
So in 2025, they're gonna lose 5 2-stars. Ain't nobody
right. For what they did, the crime wasn't nowhere near, you know what I'm saying, what it should have been. But again, that's why I say it's a pissing match, because they copping. They like, all right, he bowed down. Hey man, they want Harbaugh to kiss the ring. He ain't doing
it. And he ain't. That's what this is about to me.
Yeah. So anyways, we'll move on from that. Well, I guess we'll stay there for a minute. So they said game 1. And I respect Harbaugh for this. I feel like he's trying to get his head coaching experience, even if it's for only a game or so. But mentor, D coordinator, coaching game 1. I believe it said Jay Harbaugh, his son, who's the special teams coach, is first half of game 2. Mike Hart, second half of game 2. And then I believe Moore, right? Sharon Moore, the offensive coordinator for game 3. And then obviously Harbaugh will be back after that. I do like the fact he's kind of like showing love to his coaches. Like, all y'all get a little, you could, hey,
shine,
no matter how short it is, you can throw that on the resume now. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like he holding his coaches back. I just feel like that's kind of like a show of respect for the coaches under him. Like, I'm gonna give all y'all a little bit of shine at this. So, because I do feel like, probably all of them honestly are going to be head coaches at some point in time. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if y'all got any takes on that kind of method he's going about handling that.
I think it's good for the team too, because you just see, to have somebody else at the helm, you know what I mean? It brings a different energy, you know what I mean? Like those position group coaches can bring, like, that position group will probably have a lot more energy than the rest of the team will see that. So I mean, it could be you know what I'm saying, a multitude of things that can go like right for these coaches.
Yeah, and I'm ready to see this, with Sharon Moore. Speaking of him, he's got the offense all to himself last year. I don't know if y'all remember back when Matt Weiss, who was the co-OC, got fired back whenever because they said he was looking at BBW videos on the laptops or something. They never said what he was doing, but
you gotta have a burner laptop, bro. Come on, man. Don't do the Tiger Woods.
I don't know what he was doing, but it's all Sharon Moore now. We got a new quarterbacks coach, that Kirk Campbell, who they saying is actually a better passing game guy than Weiss was. So they saying he's more creative. So hopefully that'll open up the passing game too. So we'll see.
Just given the games, I like what he's doing. They're supposed to be shoe-in games, so let everybody get some shine.
Yeah. All right. So let's go with a overall season record predictions, and then we'll go with score predictions for this weekend. And then also, Keen, I'm putting it on you to keep tally because last year I beat y'all ass on predictions. Bowie, you definitely came in last. So you got a chance to redeem yourself. This slate is wiped clean. I see you getting your pen and pad out.
Yes, indeed. I'm keeping track from day one this year. I ain't gonna get ain't gonna be no misconstruction about this.
So I'll keep it short and sweet. I think we're gonna go undefeated. I think this is our chance to win the Natty. The usual suspects all breaking in new quarterbacks. Georgia, new quarterback. Alabama, new quarterback controversy still. Ohio State, new quarterback. Even the quarterbacks who's like the best quarterback, Caleb Williams. I don't believe in USC fully. I do believe he's a dog, but the surrounding pieces I don't believe are there for them to make a real run at it. Defense, they don't play no defense. I think they just gave up 28 or 35 or something to San Jose last week or something. So
28.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of predicting teams we might see in the playoffs if we were to make it. So, just going with those usual teams, maybe LSU, they're talking, and I'm taking JJ over Daniels from LSU. Texas, maybe they talking. I'm taking JJ over their guys. So I think that we have the best pieces coming back. We're probably the deepest, and then I believe we have the best quarterback on top of that out of those guys. So I'm saying 12-0, undefeated, natty. That's my prediction. Keen?
Ditto.
B?
Ain't nothing else. You know what I'm saying? What can we say?
We're all on one accord for those exact same reasons that you mentioned, Train.
Yeah. I mean, you can still predict natty and one slip up. You know what I'm saying? We can still get there with one slip up,
right.
As long as it's not to another undefeated team. But let's say we stumbled to Penn State, but they had a loss, another couple losses, and then whatever. But
I mean, the only teams I believe could slip up is our rivalry games. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't see us getting knocked out for a loss to Michigan State, even though that's a big rivalry game, just because anything can happen in that game. Again, but if we beat them, if we go undefeated, beat Penn State, and then we slip up to Ohio State, them being ranked so high, us being ranked so high, I don't think that would completely knock us out of the playoff either. So again, you said Georgia, new quarterback. That's how I stated earlier. That's how I believe you win in college is with a quarterback, and I believe in ours over every other quarterback in the NCAA. So that's why I feel like we could go undefeated, if not one loss, and still win the Natty.
Yep. All right. So let's
real quick, we're at plus 800 to win the Natty. I think that might be the best.
Hey, I'm gonna throw something on that.
And we're at plus 180 to win the Big Ten.
About that.
Yeah, man, it's crazy because you said plus what?
180.
180. Oh, Big Ten. Okay.
I believe that's a lot.
And you know what? And you know what's weird is because I've been hearing this narrative out there that we're built to beat Ohio State, but they're built to win the national championship. And I believe the odds actually reflect that because we're plus 800 to win the Natty King. What's Ohio State? They're probably lower than that, right?
I didn't see that one.
Okay. I think they're plus maybe 600 or something. So they're saying like they have a better chance, which is weird that we have a better chance to win the Big Ten, but not the Natty.
I've been hearing that same narrative, dog.
Yeah, Vegas / odds wise, that's how the numbers look. But we'll see. They're breaking in a new quarterback, and let me say this on.
And that's what I don't get about that is in order to beat Georgia, I'm assuming the odds are based on the outside for Ohio State, like the receivers and stuff like that. But they breaking in a new quarterback. So how does that work?
I'm going on record. Okay, I'm saying that they're going to take a step back this year.
I don't think they're going to be that good either.
Ohio State. I don't think they'll be undefeated when we meet up.
I don't either. I agree.
So that would be a step back for them. Like they go to They got a couple decent games. I think they play at Wisconsin. I know they got a new coach coming in, but it's Fickle. He a good coach. At Wisconsin's never an easy game.
Always tough.
They got to obviously come to us. But their crossover games, I believe, were harder too. We got, like Keen said, we didn't have Illinois, Iowa. We kind of got the crossover bums too. So the schedule's breaking for us right now this year. So we don't have to dive into their schedule, but I think they're going to have a couple slip ups before they even get to us personally, because I don't believe it's quarterback. They haven't named a quarterback, and I don't believe it's because they're both fire. Like kind of last year we were like, oh, Cade or JJ, like Cade that took us to a playoff. JJ was like emerging. Neither of these guys got experience, man. And when I was just reading up on some posts about them, like Ohio State fans are like under the comments, like kind of like who
they got Notre Dame week 4.
Yep. At Notre Dame, at Wisconsin.
Hey, that dude ain't Urban Meyer.
They turn around and play Maryland after that. They got 2 games later they play Penn State. They got a tough schedule.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't look at it before, but they got a pretty tough schedule.
So
and what week are they at Wisconsin?
Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's right after they play Penn State.
Yeah, man. I'm saying
Camp Randall.
At Camp Randall. So you got at Notre Dame. You got Penn State at Camp Randall.
They start off with Indiana.
Tough.
And I don't got no stock in Indiana.
I don't either. Just raggedy cats being hype. You know what I'm saying? That first quarter, it might just
slop buckets.
Raggedy cats being hype. That's all I'm gonna say.
So the natty odds are Georgia at plus 225, Alabama at plus 600, Ohio State at plus 700, and then us at 800.
Yeah,
I mean, looking at their schedule, maybe that's why they're built to win the natty, so to speak. It's just because their schedule is tougher. They're gonna have to prove more. You know what I mean? So that might be what it is.
I guess. All right, so let's jump into this game this weekend, and then we'll wrap it up. But I see where last I saw 35.5-point favorites. So should be over by halftime. B, I'm gonna let you do the honors as the man who finished in last place last year.
Ew.
Give us a score prediction. For those of you who don't know, whoever gets their score prediction the closest as far as spread margin goes. So if you predicted the score and you predicted us to win by 30, and then we won by 32, whoever gets the closest as far as margin wins that week. So go ahead, B. East Carolina, the ECU
55-14.
Huh?
55-14.
All right, King, who's writing these down?
I got them.
All right, B, you got it. 55-14.
I'm going to say 42-0.
42-0. All right, I'm going to go with 48-10.
All right, they're in there. Locked in.
I'm going to go with 48-10. Yep. All right, before we roll out of here though, King, we looking like on Instagram. Talk to the people.
Oh yeah, for sure. Actually, I just put up a story to let y'all know we back on air at Michigan Man Cave Podcast. You know what I mean? Come check us out. We about to be back active. I ain't coaching no more, so I got time now. So you know what I'm saying? We on.
Yep. All right, B, with that bird flying high in the sky, Twitter, how can they catch us?
Oh well, now it's the X, baby. So catch us on the X.
Right.
But yeah, I've already been posting. Been posting them fly kicks and fly Jordan kicks. It's a maze out this weekend at the East Carolina game. So make sure you got on your maze. That's already posted up. All the information that comes through the pipeline is gonna be on the Michigan Man Cave Podcast X page. So I'll let you boys.
Yes, sir. All right, shoot. Well, that's it, y'all. We back. That first show is a wrap. We got it under our belt. We just getting back into the swing of things. Appreciate y'all locking in with us. If you're feeling the show, go ahead, share it with somebody, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're gonna be live and direct each week. We all called it out now. Natty or bust. Until next week. Peace.
Peace.
Blake Heisman.